His Daf Yerushalmi Bikkurim in the article Oz edition where 6 lines at the top of Hey Amid Aleph Amr Yossi, and that is 4 lines at the bottom of Gimel Amid Aleph in the Vilna. And Amr Yossi Kima Binyam Mashtor Bechia Barba Begoya Boba Avera Basisam Maslisa. So he says the dad says in Mishnah by a ger. If he might say Imam Yisrael may be clear, it's not just about a ger that. Who had relations with the Bas Yisrael, but even a goy who had relations with Bas Yisrael ba'avera. He also is Mevi v'Koirei. Okay, so it doesn't matter if the father is Jewish or not. If the mother was born Jewish, Mevi v'Koirei. So that the Rabbi Yonah Lomar Kain, Yonah said that which you learned from Binyamin Bar Shtor was not concerning our mission. It's concerning something else. Rabbi Shama Le'elain debate Bar Shtor. He heard the people in the house of Ashtor that were Gerim b'nei Gerim, and evidently their mothers were not from Yisrael. There was a family where the parents were both Gerim, and they said, "Okay, Omrim Elokei Avosenu." They said it in the Chazal Shatz and their Shluchei Tzibur, "Elokei Avosenu." So Rabbi asked, "Then we learn Imam Yisrael Omer Elokei Avosenu." Only if the mother was from Yisrael can you say Elokei Avosenu. Gerim and Gerim lo. But if both parents are Gerim, then no. Rabbi said, Kimo b'yam Rashon Kreim b'chia barba. So the Rabbi Yossi said, Rabbi Binyan Bar Shtor resolved this issue in front of Rabbi Chia barba. Chizka b'shem Rabbi Chia barba said Kimo bar Ashtor. That slightly different version. Kumenon. The Chia barba. Chizka said, name Rechia Barba, that Bar Shtor said this in front of us. Goy Shabbat Ba'avera Ba'asiso, he must nisa. That he's saying that a goy who comes who's bought imo whose mother is Misrael can say Elokeinu v'Elokei Avoseinu, even though the father was a goy. But that's the chiddush, that even a goy haba bas Yisrael say Elokei Avoseinu, right? But but a gerim for sure could say Elokei Avoseinu. So that which the price of which Rebbe was asking from before, it's not to exclude gerim b'nei gerim, right? It's saying even if the father's a goy, you can still say okay Avoseinu since the mother is Yisrael. But gerim b'nei gerim, they can obviously say okay Avoseinu. Why is that? So Rabbi Zikon Rabbi Zira boy, that Rabbi Zikon said that Rabbi Zira asked Klum hu miskaven, what does he have in mind? Lo Avram Yitzchak Yaakov Avram Yitzchak Yaakov Chi Avram Yitzchak Yaakov Avoseim hayu. How can you say okay Avoseinu? Avram Yitzchak Yaakov are not their forefathers. Okay, Avoseinu means the Avos, and how can they say okay Avoseinu is referring to their forefathers if they're not their forefathers. So now he's asking also at a goy, even on a goy above Bas Yisrael, how can they say okay Avoseinu? Klum nishma kosh baruch l'scharim shem and kevos. Isn't the shvua of okay Avoseinu going on the lineage from the males? Is it going also on lineage of the females? Now, there's an interesting convergence here between Bikurim and Tefillah. The issue by Bikurim, obviously, is one of Nachla. But the chiddush is of his the premise of his question is that it's the same thing by Shemon Esrei. Shemon Esrei, you say, okay, Avoseinu is going on Nachla. In other words, the halacha is Nachla follows the father. So therefore, okay, Avoseinu, Mistama refers to the Seinu, which we which it says by Bikurim. By Bikurim. Clearly, since it's talking about a Nachla and Eretz Yisrael, it should be talking only about where the father is Yisrael. So the okay, Mekeva saying Shmanesei should only be referring to a case where the father is Yisrael, Chorim, not when the Kevos. So it says more, no. And this is obviously what Binyan Bar Ashtur was relying on. Tani B'Shem Yehuda Ger Atzmo Mevi B'Kare. The Ger himself can bring and um, bring Bikurim and Bikore. Matam ki Av Hamon Goyim L'Saticha. It's not the din Nachla. Avraham Avinu is called Av Hamon Goyim, the father of, and that's why, of course, when the Ger is Megai, we say Ben Avraham Avinu. Avraham was called like Avraham by Avraham ki Av Hamon Goyim L'Saticha. And he is the father. Oh, that's Bereshit Zayin. Hey, he's the forefather of all the Gerim, and therefore Elokeinu B'Kevosenu passes, applies to to Gerim, and also by Bikurim. A Ger Mamish can bring Bikurim because the halacha is that he is Elokeinu B'Kevosenu applies to him. Now, this does not say anything specific about where the father is a goy. But presumably, he's saying that the Nekevas issue is not going to matter by a the Nekevas issue is not going to matter, and therefore it doesn't matter because they're going not in Shemon Esrei, at least after the Avraham Avinu, and he's Avraham Goyim. So as he says, Shavar Isa Avlaram Machshem Mikana Tav Elch Avul Hagoyim. Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi Mar Halach Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi says Halach is like Rabbi Yehuda, and this is evidently not for passing for Bikurim because Bikurim was no gay at the time, but rather in terms of Shemon Esrei. That you could say Elokeinu B'Kevosenu in Shemon Esrei. So the article brings down the halacha that according to most sources that. Even though some, I should say, according to somebody showing him that only a ger she'imo miYisrael can bring bikurim. However, most posts can paskin like Rabbi Yehuda, both in terms of meaning bikurim and in terms of nusach tefillah, that the ger can say Elokeinu B'Kevosenu. So he does not speak about a goya ba'as Yisrael, but I think that what we said before, that at the beginning when we began today, that Goya Babas that even the mission is even talking about them, that they can be maybe correct because they say Shanish B'Hashem Senu. So it seems that he felt that's what Rabbi Yehuda holds, and we fall off the assumption that only somebody who comes from the male line, suppose the female line, can say that. No, all of Am Yisrael can say that. No, all of them can bring and be correct because ultimately the Yachas, the Avos, has not to do specifically with this person being able to get an achla, because Gerim can't get an achla, but rather with the clearly, as he says, with Paschal B'Yudah by Bikurim, has to be Shaykh to Am Yisrael, and the Shaykh to Am Yisrael could be referring to Gerim through Avam Goyim Saticha, and certainly be Shaykh to the Goya Ba'as Yisrael's the child because of the Shaykhs through the female line going up. Okay, it says in this mixture, Elizabeth Yaakov Omer Ha'isha Bas Gerim Lotin say a woman who comes, this is not obviously related to Bikurim, a woman who is the daughter of Gerim cannot marry a Kohen actually Imam Yisrael unless her mother is Jewish. Both parents are Gerim. The child cannot marry a Kohen. I feel out of Sar Doros, and it doesn't matter Gerim or released slaves. Even up to 10 generations, they can't marry Israel. Okay, so the 10 generations is reference to Mamzer, where it says Gam Dorasi Le'avola B'Kala Shavalon. The point is that one of the parents has to be born Jewish. The apotropin va'eved va'shliach. Apotropos is a guardian, and an eved, a slave. The Knai is being bikurim for his master. The shliach, a messenger, brings bikurim. Va'isha, a woman. who brings Bikurim in from her own property with Tumtum Androgynos, who have people of uncertain gender. Bevi and Korin, they bring and they can't read the Parsha Bikurim because they can't. They can't say it was given to me. Apotropos because the land doesn't belong to them. A woman because initially when Eretz was divided, it was not divided up to women. And Tumtum Androgynos it says each lefikudav you take you tan achlos. So by midbar chabav and dalit. And it says ish v'hukudav, it must mean somebody who's definitely a man, and they're not definitely men. Okay, so now the Gemara brings down Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov Omer Chulei Taman Tina. We learned over there. Omer Basker Zachar Kabas Chol Zachar. So this Gemara in Mishnah and Kiddushin, Paragdam Mishnah above, brought down in the Bavli in Kiddushin and Yerushalmi in Kiddushin. Rabbi holds that it's discussed there. So Rabbi Yehuda. I don't know if it's a Mishnah, so I'm not sure. Okay, never mind. So Rabbi knows that a bas ger zachar, even though her mother is from Yisrael, is possible kuna like a bas cholo zachar. Just like a father's a cholo, a kohen who's from a kohen who married Grusha or something. So then his daughter is a cholola, even if she's married to Yisraelis, and she can't marry a kohen. So to a bas ger zachar also can't marry a kohen. That Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov holds that no, obviously not, like our Mishnah says, that as long as either father and mother is so, it's good enough. Rabbi Yossi holds there in Kiddushin, even a gershon as a gioris bitok sher l'kuhuna. Doesn't matter, but even both parents get him, still the door is kosher l'kuhuna. And later on, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says in a brisa that even a gioris herself, his gayeres less than before the age of 3 in 1 day, she's kosher l'kuhuna. So that is the second Kiddushin. So here's brought down briefly, abbreviated. Tamatin Rabbi Yehuda Mer Bas Ger Zachar Bas Chol Zachar. Because and then all those other shitas, right? So Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Ben Yaakov, and Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, 4 shitas. V'kulam mikra echad hein. All of them darshan with the same pasuk. Kim b'sulas mizera bat by Beis Yisrael. It says the pasuk in Yecheskel. It says that a Kohen has to marry a basula from the lineage of Yisrael. Rabbi Yehuda Anshe Hey should be here. It says emo, but it should be according to all the Mefarshim, and it says Yerushalmi Bikkurim also. Anshe Aviv Mi Yisrael. It says Zera Beis Yisrael means he was Masriah, he who provides the seed. So the father has to be from Yisrael. No, Zera means the seed, but it means progeny. So either the father or the mother, you don't need both. Rabbi Yossi Omer Achi Bod B'Kedushas Yisrael. Rabbi Yossi says you don't need either of them. You need to be that they're born in Yisrael. In other words, the parents were the Gerim. The children are from Bezerah Beis Yisrael. They come from the house of Israel. Because when the time the child was born, even though both parents are Gerim, the house was a house in Israel. So therefore, the even daughter of 2 Gerim can be married Kohen. Shimon says, Omer Achi Yaviu Besulim B'Kedushas Yisrael. As the even if she's born as a non-Jew, besulos mizeh. So by the time they're besula, then the besula status is determined at age 3, because until age 3, even if she had bia or somehow lost the besulim, they grow back. But since when her status of besula is determined, she has to be Israel. So therefore, as long as she converted less than under the age of 3, she can marry a Kohen. And that brings us to the top of Davav, so we will stop here for today.